So in this section, I'm going to talk about some common mistakes that I see when people put over grips on. It's one of those skills that takes a bit of time to learn, like riding a bike, but once you do, it's really simple. So the first mistake is just not wrapping tight enough. So you'll see here, once I wrap this and it's not tight enough, you'll start to get these loops or these big bumps, etc., which are going to give you blisters. So the first thing there is just make sure you're pulling the tape tight enough that those don't happen. And that's the best way to learn at what tension you need to pull it. You'll see, sorry, I'm going to start all the way back here now. You see, when you actually pull it to the right tension, you won't get those little bumps, okay? Now, the second issue I see is when people, so again, I'll just get this started, is the overlap, okay? So some people will go too flat with their overlap. So now you can see my overlap is very thick. If I do that, it's going to actually increase the grip size almost to 2 sizes versus 1. So that's the second one. So that's why we like to have a very narrow overlap. Some players will prefer to do this because they like to have that thicker feel, but if you're someone who likes to try and maintain as much feel of the base grip as possible, a thin overlap's recommended. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is inconsistent overlap. So sometimes you'll have it be thin, then when you get around the other side, it'll be thick, then it will be thin, then it will be thick, etc. So you can see how ugly that looks, right? That's easily avoided. I'm going to show you a couple tips how to do that. So, unwrap again. Okay, so the easiest way to avoid that is always keep the grip tape in front of you. Because as soon as you wrap it around the other side and then turn the handle, you're going to see you now have a very uneven overlap. So if you keep this tight and always looking at you as you turn the racket, keeping it in front of you, you're always going to end up with a much tighter, more consistent overlap the whole way down. Again, the one trick is rotate the racket handle, keep this in front of you. Don't rotate your hands, because if you rotate your hands, you're going to end up with a massive overlap, potentially a tangle. So keep it tight, turn the racket itself, keep it tight, keep it in front, and you can do that the whole way down until you get to the end. And the last thing I'll show is when it comes to cutting off. As I said before, I like to cut on the top side of the grip, like that. So what happens, some people will actually cut the grip in the same direction, because most of the time people do an uneven cut here, because your scissors aren't as sharp as mine. Is you're actually going to find it hard to get this last overlap correct. You can see? And you can also see how ugly that is, even if you tape over the top of it. So even if I tape that, it's still ugly. And you've got it both on sides. So that's why we always like to cut on the top of the grip. Anyway, if you focus on doing those things really well, so starting in the right location, so opposite where the base grip started, having a nice and tight, but not too tight overwrap the whole way down, always keeping the grip in front of you, and just turning the racket handle, moving it all the way down, you're going to end up, and then finish cutting at the top, you end up with a perfect overgrip 9 or 10 out of 10 times.